I have no idea how effective this is actually gonna be, but in this video, I want to farm, ideally, only artifacts. Because like I said last time, even if we don't get actual upgrades, it would just be nice to actually level the artifacts that we're using. And here's the thing, in this game mode, I don't know if you actually need to do higher difficulties to get the same artifacts. I'm just gonna farm this on a hard difficulty, which may be a waste of time if I could do the same thing on easy. And you know, a simple Google search would probably give me that information, but this doesn't take too long per run. It's about 62 seconds. Unfortunately, this is only open for another day or so, meaning I will end up having to just go to the normal artifact domain. Although sometimes I do get a little unlucky and he goes down for another round of this. So you know what? Let's make this a little educational. There has to be at least one person watching that doesn't know how to identify the correct hat to attack. And I know that because when I was filming my last co-op video, they didn't know how to do it. So you see how when they move, this one has a yellow trail, but those have purple. That's because this is the real one. Also, you could see this one has a face on it when it's attacking. And I don't know if everything does it like this, but certain characters have attacks that home onto enemies. Like for example, Aoife's attacks when he's using his elemental skill. Those will only lock onto the one that is actually the enemy. Oh, and it looks like we get to see it again. So as you see, this one's yellow trail, those are purple trail, and as per usual, we get a circlet with double crit, but as substats. While I'm over here to condense more resin, I did do some farming between videos, and so Xingqiu's skill and burst are now at level 8. And in case you're thinking, oh, Java, you're not really showing us many of the artifacts, don't worry, I've showed you every good one so far, which is why you've seen none of them. There's all the resin that I have to spend today. And as much as this artifact sucks, I might still keep it, at least until we get something better, because if I want to build Shanling at some point, I probably want pyro damage on Severed Fates. Now, thanks to my amazing planning skills, we have exactly 30 resin left, and I would like to get another one of these drops. I just hate that fight, especially on this account. So before we subject ourselves to more suffering, let's try to make our Xingqiu a lot stronger. We'll convert all of the stuff that I'm definitely not going to use into Severed Fates. And now, let's see if we can fix this. We want Severed Fates. Ideally, double crit with energy recharge. If this one rolls any sort of crit, I might use it. Ooh, nope, don't like that stat. Oh, there it is again. Wow, this is painful. Nothing can roll well. Okay, so here's the progress update. Most of the pieces still kind of suck. The feather's okay. Everything else I would still love to replace at some point, but at the moment I'm completely out of artifact fodder. But this is only the first day of farming stuff for this video, so hopefully by the end of this video he'll have at least all level 20 artifacts. And currently the stats are looking like this. I would love to try the level 81, but I would also hate to try to level 81, so I'm gonna stick to the level 70 version of this boss right now. Maybe not the best use of resin, but until this fight is easily doable for us, I really don't want to try the level 80 again. Oh, I actually took this thing down for once. That almost never happens. Come on, I could do it. I could do it for once. Let me take them all out. Oh, did I? Nope, I didn't do it in time. So official, I would like to summon Oz to prevent my inevitable destruction. I hate when this thing has a hitbox that is way larger than its actual size and Lanyan just can't even hit it, but I also can't walk any further forward. Oh, wait, when did Lanyan die? I love when characters die when they're not even on the field. Actually, it really feels like over half the time I just can't even hit the boss. I hate that fight, but at least I got what I needed. And by that, I mean I got the thing that I can now use to get the thing that I needed, because they would never just give me the one that I actually want. That'd be a little too lucky. But now Lanyan's burst can go to level 7 and immediately to level 8 because we don't like odd numbers here. Well, here we are 2 days later. Don't worry, I did log onto the account yesterday and did some farming, fought a bunch of enemies, went around and gathered up all the ores in Fontaine again. I even did a bit of artifact management, but I basically wanted to wait until I had max condensed resin again. And unfortunately, I just remembered what is in this domain. Don't think this is a good team for it, but the onslaught has ended, so this is the only way to get Severed Fates. Well, I mean, I guess the Strongbox too. I'll have to try out the Gaming team and just see which one clears it faster. Because like I said yesterday, I did do a little bit of artifact management. I swapped some stuff around, so at least Rosaria, well, she's only on a 2-piece Severed Fates. It's no longer just a 2-piece of the Hunter set, and all of them except for the Goblet are level 20. I didn't actually do any leveling with them. I just moved artifacts around to the characters that were using more, because a new banner is also coming up, which I think we'll be able to pull on in this video. Wow, that went well. How How did you die? Nothing hit you. Essentially, I'm just trying to improve our chances of clearing maybe floor 11 in the Spiral Abyss, which would end up netting us an additional 10 pull. I'll be honest, that took a lot longer than the other team. But Gaming did die, so I'll give it another attempt. Ooh, I'll keep that. I would love to get one of the coveted energy recharge main stat pieces on that set, but I have a feeling even if I do get that, it's going to have the substats of flat HP, flat attack, and flat defense. Oh my gosh, people just drop in here. As I'm doing this, I'm also switching between two different weapons on Gaming as I'm trying to find out which one is more effective on the melt team. Obviously, the Rain Slasher doesn't boost anything against enemies affected by cryo, but without it, he would have 0 EM. And I imagine that can't be too good for a melt team. Also doesn't help when he dies, which seems to be quite often in here. And he does go up to 65% crit, but holy, I think he misses like 90% of them. Oh, Xingqiu might be very happy today. And depending on how it rolls, so might I. But once again, there goes the last of our resin. Ooh, free a quaint fate. We're getting close to 4-star pity on this banner. And I don't think we made it. I think we were 1 away. But wow. I already have that. A character would have been a lot nicer than my 5th Favonius Codex. But perhaps the game was saving all the good RNG for this artifact. I'm sure that's what it was doing. The only way that it could be better is if it was energy recharge instead of flat attack. However, I hate everything. Wow, that didn't go so great. If I had 2 of these feather things, I'd probably use them. But at least for now, I do now. Stop. Why? It always picks the worst stat and just keeps rolling into it. How am I supposed to improve this account? Well, Xingqiu does have a full set of level 20 artifacts now. As we saw, they are not ideal, but his build is better than it was at the start of the video. At the very least, that's progress. Okay, so I ran into a little bit of an issue, and I don't mean the bad artifact RNG, though that is also pretty bad. Now, you see, yesterday, the internet decided it was taking a day off for itself. So I was not able to log on to Genshin whatsoever. And that's actually the second time that happened during the recording of this video. So I definitely lost out on some resin, and more importantly, I lost out on a lot of time to actually record stuff. So just as a warning, if this video ends up being a little shorter than normal, that is why. I was also going to go ahead and do this event, but I checked it out, and as far as I could tell, there is little to no combat. It's mostly just going through dialogue, which I do not need to put in this video. So this is going to be the last day that I can farm artifacts, because this video needs to go up tomorrow morning. So hopefully we can, maybe see some good stuff drop. No. I mean, like we saw, our Xingqiu is better than he was, but there's still tons of room for improvement, and Severed Fates is going to be kind of a popular artifact set on this account. Now, in about 7 hours, the banners are going to be swapping over to the next rotation. But obviously, I'm not going to wait until tonight to edit and record all of this video for tomorrow. So we're going to do things a little bit differently in this video. Basically, once I'm done making all the changes to artifacts, we'll go do the Spiral Abyss before the banner resets. And we'll use those results to decide how many pulls I get, because there is still a new Spiral Abyss compared to when we did it last time. And now I did do it on my main account already. I had no problems there, but I imagine some of that might be a little tough for this account. Sadly, that bit of farming did not really yield anything of interest, but I will power up some of these just to see what they're looking like. Because like I said, there will be a decent number of characters that do want this set, and I couldn't even fully power one up. Of course, we can try out the Strongbox, though I have very low expectations here. You know what would be nice? Energy recharge sands. But the game says no. Have defense percent instead. Am I surprised? Not at all. Oh, wow. That's great. I'm having fun. This is fun. Another hour without Wi-Fi later. We are back. And I do have enough resin for another condensed one. Maybe the game will feel bad for me and actually give me something good. You know what? I'll take it. Something else that I do want to check out is we should have the next banners 4 stars. Oh. Wait, this is actually good. Bennett, Ororon, and Aoife. Of course, I've been working on Lanian, and if I get a bunch of Aoife constellations, I'm gonna have to work on him. But all of those are really good options for us. Before I step foot into this abyss, is everything... wait, these aren't leveled? I mean, I kind of see why. And there's not too much I can do considering I already... Oh, I mean, 5 times helps. But these level ups definitely don't. But yeah, I already spent all of my fodder, so I really can't do too much there. So I guess it's not that big of a deal because it was only enough fodder to get 1 artifact to level like 17 or 18. And even though those new banners don't come for a couple more hours, this is going to be my official attempt for the pulls that we'll get. Floor 9, as per usual, should be free. And while some of the later floors do kind of want you to use lunar charge and we don't have access to that, that does mean that electro charge is also going to be pretty decent because the enemies will be designed for that. But I do know that on floor 11, there are just a couple of enemies and there is floor 9 done. I'm probably going to keep the same teams for quite a while. In fact, I don't think I'll be changing these teams at all through this entire attempt. And for floor 10, we got 3 stars on chamber 1, 3 stars on chamber 2, and 3 stars on chamber 3. Look at this. Floor 11, chamber 1. Oh, look, it's just 3 enemies. That should be super easy, right? Until you activate this and you see it's actually not 3, it's 42. Slight difference there. However, this is very satisfying. So for that reason, I can look past it. Oh, that was actually really fast too. But this side makes me a little sad because last time on the second half of the monolith, you had 2 of these guys. This time they just decided to add a 3rd. Not very creative or different, just more annoying. They really seem to like this enemy though, because on floor 10, chamber 3, the second half had one of these and they decided, oh, you're on floor 11 now? Let's just put 3 of them. If there was a timer, I'd be screwed. And it seems that they've grown tired of attacking me and they're only going after the monolith now. That's how little of a threat this account is to them. Okay, there we go. Unfortunately, now the timer does make a reappearance, but we have electro charged, so maybe we'll be fine. There are 12 enemies and they do kind of spawn in waves, or it's kind of whenever you actually defeat one. If there was all at once, it'd be a lot faster. I also don't remember if there's other enemies besides just these mechs. Oh, there's one more after this. And oh, it's all just mechs. That is not bad. So it seems like the second half is a lot weaker than the first, which makes sense based on how I've been working on characters. Lately, we've been putting a lot more focus on that first half. Can you stop teleporting out of all my bursts as soon as I put them down? And I have to take down 2 of you? On the bright side, it's really not doing anything. It's just a giant punching bag. Oh, and it teleported out of my bursts. This is eating through my timer. Okay, 1 down. Now for this thing. I was gonna say at least it's not the same enemy, but this one could end up being worse, so I'm not gonna speak too soon. It's definitely squishier, which is weird to say about a giant metal robot, but this one actually does try to attack me unlike the last one. Okay, I was able to get 3 stars. Chamber 3. We've gotten ourselves 2 bonus temples. Can I get a 3rd? 13 enemies that we need to go through. Oh, there's just such a satisfying reaction. I know now we have lunar charged, but obviously I was a fan of electro charged even before that. And to be fair, this account doesn't have access to lunar charge. That's okay, because I still love electro charged. And you know what? That wasn't even a bad time. For this account, that was pretty good. Unfortunately, we are about to ruin that. Come on, Gaming. 4 enemies. There's no way. I also don't have any of my bursts because I had to spam them last time. And Gaming just missed a crit 4 times in a row. It's also come to my attention that Gaming really needs more energy recharge. I mean, to be fair, none of these characters are getting their bursts back up fast enough. Yeah, this is not happening. I could probably beat it, but in 20 seconds, I'm not taking out 2 more of these. But that went so much smoother than last time. I know I could attempt floor 12, but the Gaming team is definitely not strong enough. Though I have to say, I am kind of impressed. So we'll have our 1 free 10 pull on both the rate up character banner and the weapon banner. And we earned ourselves 2 more 10 pulls wherever we want to spend those. You know, I was just looking through some of the constellations for Aoife, and they kind of did him dirty. If we look at someone like Mualani, her C1, as we can see at the bottom here, you consume 30% less Night Soul points out of combat. Varessa C1 also has something similar. Shalonin C1 has the same 30%. Some of them apply in combat, some are only out of combat. But if we go to Aoife, we go to his constellations. Here's C1. Oh, it doesn't have it. Where is it? C6. And it's only 20% out of combat. Aoife, I hate to tell you, but I don't think Hoyoverse likes you. Ooh, Ororon C1 sounds kind of nice. More AoE shenanigans. I don't know. I think Ororon's constellations seem pretty decent. Although Bennett C1, we all know, is pretty nice. So I guess I will edit this video until this banner is available. I do believe it is time for us to be able to pull on the new banners. As I stated last time, this weapon wouldn't really be great for anyone other than like what, a DPS Barbara maybe? So I'm gonna set our course for this one. Of course, I don't actually expect to get a 5-star weapon here. Oh boy, I don't have this Claymore on any account, but it sounds like it might be pretty good for Gaming. Of course, I'm not gonna worry about that unless I actually get it. I hope I'm wrong, but if I had to make a prediction about what weapon I think I'm gonna get, it's gonna be this one again. But we do get our 1 free 10 pull on the rate up banner. We do not see a gold, which is completely fine. We get a Dragon's Bane. More like the bane of my existence. I mean, there's just so many good options on this banner, so of course we don't get any of them. I think I know where I'm spending our additional 10 pulls. Well, let's go ahead and do the same on the weapon banner. Also purple. Watch these 10, 9. Watch all these 9 purple. What? 8 of them. Count them. 8. 7 of them is fine. I'm not going to be too greedy. 6 is actually exactly what I wanted, though. 5 of them. We're going to get 5 4-stars. We're going to get 4 4-stars because it's just fitting. 4 4-star. 3 of them is actually better than 4, though. Don't ask me how. With Farzan, you're not a weapon. I think my banners are a little confused. I feel like Farzan's getting so many constellations recently. That puts her at... Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Ignore me. I thought she was going to be at like C2 or C3. We have 2 more temples we can spend wherever we want. I definitely want to put one here. So that is what we're going to do. It is purple. Good. So this is guaranteed to be one of the 4-stars from this rate up banner. And we get an Ororon constellation. Pretty nice. And besides that, we get nothing else. With our last 10 pull, I really wouldn't mind getting this, but the chances of getting it are so slim. I think it's probably just safer to pull on this banner. We're not guaranteed to get one of the rate up characters, but we have a much better chance of getting one of them rather than one specific 4-star weapon, which, speaking of 4-star weapons, woohoo. Don't tell me that's it. Don't do that to me. You can put another 4-star in here. You... No, you can't, huh? I guess at the very least, I did get a constellation for one of our characters. Or at least one of the ones that I'm actively using. I think Farzan would have to get quite a few more constellations before I use her. I figure I might as well go through and do these character trials as well. Oh, and I just realized I did not get a Bennett C1. That kinda sucks. It'd be kind of funny if in these trials they gave these enemies the same amount of HP that they'd have on floor 12 of the Spiral Abyss. Then you can actually see how they're gonna perform. But now let's go test out this insane new constellation because our skill bounces to 2 additional enemies. So if I use it, we could see it does that. It slowly goes around and does stuff. I was expecting it to actually be a really quick ricochet, but it's probably better that it's a slower one. Because that means we'll have more consistent electro application. Not that that's really a problem with Fischl. And his skill is already level 8, so we are good to go. And can it bounce? Wait, it bounced once and then it just stopped. I'm assuming that means it can't bounce back to the same enemy. Let's see. We use it, and then it bounces. And then it's gone. Well, that's good to know. I'll be honest, when I'm doing electrocharge stuff, I can't really see what's happening. There's so many numbers popping up everywhere. Ororon's skill already bounces 3 times. So with the C1, it can now bounce up to 5 times if there are different enemies. And since we saw that it is a slower bounce, that means this electro should be on field for quite a while. So it goes to one enemy, then it went to the crate, and then the barrel, and then back to the enemy. Wow, I'm so glad it counts crates and barrels. That's clearly the important threat here. Well, it's a good thing those don't appear in the Spiral Abyss. Or maybe I shouldn't give Hoyoverse any ideas. With that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy. And as always, I shall see you all next time.